Hey everyone, so I've been getting a lot of questions about how I did my Sola wood flowers, and so I just wanted to make a really quick tutorial about like my method of doing it. So I used these green stem covers, these wire stems that I purchased from Sola. I'm also going to be using some basic acrylic paints in primary colors, so I have my yellow, blue, red, white, and black. And this is an example of how the paint comes out, and I'll be making one with y'all today. You're also going to need a hot glue gun and, of course, your Sola flowers. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually start by cutting up my wire and my stem covers, and I want to divide this one into 3 parts just so that I have more. So I purchased about 200 of these. That'll give me 600. And then also it makes it easier to trim the stems on the bouquets. So these are going to be in 3s. This is about 18 inches. I have my ruler on my little mat here that you can't see. So I'm just eyeballing it. It really doesn't matter if it's like precise or not. And what you want to do here is just give it a good squeeze. You don't actually have to like bust your hand on this. Just squeeze it a little. And then once you have a little notch in there, just go ahead and bend your wire back and forth and it'll snap right off. And that way you don't have to exert too much strength. Use this as now a guide. And just, again, it doesn't have to be super duper precise. We're just going to go in, give it a little squeeze, do our little bend, and there we go. And I'm just going to repeat that for this whole stack, which I won't do on this video, but I have a good amount to work with for right now. And for the stems, I'm just going to go ahead and take one of these guys out, bend it in half. You can use scissors or your wire cutters. I'm just going to use these because they're already out. Give it a little snap. Now I have 2 stems, and this will make an okay like bouquet. And now what I'm going to do is just kind of straighten this whole little stack that is rubber banded. Make sure my stems are even at the bottom, and you can certainly do this one by one if you don't trust that you will do it correctly. And here I am going to grab my big old scissors, and I'm just going to cut right through. Perfect. And there they go. Super duper easy. All right, next I'm going to mix my paint. So I'm going to try to recreate this sort of like dusty rose color, and I might make it a little more purplish, but let's see. So I use primary colors because I've just been mixing colors my whole life, and I'm like, you know what, this is the best way to get the colors that I want. I'm going to use some red, just slap it in there. I'm going to use just a drop of blue, so mostly red, drop of blue. I'm going to add a teeny bit of yellow, and you'll be able to kind of see like what needs to be added. I'm also going to add white because I want it to be a sort of like creamy color, and I'll add a good amount in there. So this looks kind of crazy. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's going to be the color I want, but let's see what happens. So now I'm just going to give this a good shake. Love this, this method here. You want to just kind of check the bottom of your mason jar to see if there's any lingering color. Okay. Let's see what it looks like. So I do have some water and softener in another mason jar. I'm just not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to do an example. Let's do one of these dahlias from Sola wood. I really like these because they're just like super full and really easy to dye. So to pierce these, what I do is I have this little piercer that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to give this a little poke here to create my hole, and a little like circular motion so you can kind of see what happened there. And hopefully I remember to turn on my glue gun. I did. I'm just going to give it a little drop in there. And I'm going to stick my wire right in there. Give it a second. And I've been using these for like a week, so I just do a couple at a time. I probably do like 30 flowers a night. stick them onto my styrofoam. So here are some that are already done. Just so I don't get super overwhelmed. And with these dahlias, you're going to have to kind of shove them in there. Just be a little careful. Okay. Give it a little twirl. I think we might find that this one needs a little more color. I actually kind of like this a lot. And there's a little red spot on this one because I needed to shake this out a little more, but that's okay. I really like this color. It's a little foamy because this paint is still settling, but I'm here for it. All the other ones that I've made are a little bit darker, like y'all can see. And then I have my sort of like very light pink there, but this is quite different, and I think it'll match my color scheme very nicely. Let's do a different flower. I'm gonna do their little lotuses. This one looks a little beat up. I'm gonna grab a nicer one. Okay, this one's cute. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Take my piercer and just give it a little hole. Be kind of gentle. It's hard, but give it a little bulb of hot glue. And grab my wire. Perfect. And this will fit in there much nicer. I think with this one I can kind of flick off some of this foam. So pretty. I love it. And so if you wanted this to be darker, like let's say you wanted it a little more pink, I would add some more red and maybe another drop of blue. You can just play with it until you get the color that you want, and you'll be able to see it. So super easy. All right, so last thing I'm going to show you is how to put on these stem covers. So I'm going to take one of my flowers that I have already dyed, and what I like to do is actually give them a few bends. So make it a little crooked. And that way it kind of just like shoulders up against the stem a little bit, and it gives it a little bit of leverage so that the stem cover is not just like falling right off. And then I put a little bulb of hot glue in there and just push her down. Give it a little twirl. Be careful not to burn yourself with the glue. And there she is. And that's it.